guys, Rob here with McDojoLife, and the man you just got done watching performing the no-touch knockout stink palm attack goes by the name of Attila Istvan.
Stink palm. You take your hand, you stick it in your...
You get the idea. Sensei Attila here runs a program called Life is Conscious Self-Defense in Hungary. And according to his website, he teaches Kyoshu Jitsu / Damak. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kyoshu Jitsu is known for its legendary bullshit artists who rant and rave about pressure points and no-touch knockouts. There is a laundry list of these crazy people that we've covered over the years, such as Tom Cameron, for instance, aka the human stun gun. Another one that comes to mind is Jack Hogan, who runs Hogan Karate International before he passed away.
What do we always say? Energy follows eyes. Look at what you're doing, and it makes it more effective, correct? Right. So I started doing this.
Yet another one of those crazy people who's still active today is Evan Pantazzi, who believes he can knock people out with sound. And, of course, who could forget Paul Bowman? But the cream of the crop, the legendary big man himself, George Dillman, has to take the cake. Ding! Now, I could go on and on and on forever about all the Kyoshu Jitsu frauds that are out there who believe in crazy voodoo magic powers, but we need to get back to Sensei Attila. Now, like I said before, he teaches Kyoshu Jitsu, which we just showed you some demonstrations of, but what about Damak?
What the hell is a Damak? Death touch.
That's right, the death touch. Not only does this crazy person actually believe that he can do this, but he also teaches it. Just check out this excerpt from his website. In the event of an attack, if one of your hands is free, you can hit the neck and back of the head with a sudden blow back and forth, and the attacking party is guaranteed to stop the attack. First off, if someone ever tells you they have a guaranteed way to stop any attacker or any attack that's happening to you, they're full of shit. And secondly, I love that term sudden blow. It's very dramatic and extremely redundant. Aren't all blows sudden? Isn't that what makes them a blow? Like a gradual blow would be like ridiculous. It'd be like from Austin Powers. Now that we've discussed a little bit about who he is, what he believes, and what he teaches, let's check out some of those techniques. Right in the butthole. I'm just playing. That gives me an opportunity to shamelessly plug my oil check t-shirts. You can get yours today at McDojoLife.com. Hashtag Team Oil Check. Okay, for real this time. Let's go to the technique. What a load of bullhickey. Unless your attacker has some type of a neuromuscular disease, they're probably just going to stare at you in confusion when you do that to them, and then they're going to just knee you in the face. We continue. I see we've moved from the thigh all the way down to the foot, putting yourself in an even worse position than you were before.
A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
The results of this, however, would be literally the exact same thing. They will stare at you in confusion. They may even ask you what the hell you're doing to their foot right before they knee and or kick you in the face. Don't believe me? Just try it. The next time you just happen to be moving around with somebody, hell, even in jiu-jitsu, just see what happens when you try to gently poke them in the thigh or you try to poke them in the foot. Just give it a try. See what happens. Why is this man tapping? He's like tapping to strikes in a demonstration where he's only guaranteed to be hit one time for the demonstration. This is nonsense. There's no need for him to tap. Tapping is typically used to let the other person know to stop using a submission on you. It's not usually used for strikes unless you're a bitch. Tapping is not used in demonstrations where you're guaranteed only to be hit one time. Here's another extremely odd thing that I've seen in a ton of his videos. Why the hell is this guy falling all the time? I guess he's supposed to be simulating a knockout, because he also always sits him up and slaps the guy repeatedly on the back and the neck to revive him from the, quote, knockout that didn't happen during a demonstration. I must have missed that part of the CPR first aid certification. As much as I enjoy roasting martial arts instructors who are doing nonsense, sometimes we lose sight of the fact that students are actually listening and paying and learning this crap. Take this one for example. That's right, that man is actually tapping to that baloney. Look at the size difference. It's nonsensical to teach this tiny woman that this grown man is going to be put in that much pain by just squeezing his arm. He should be ashamed of himself for teaching that crap. One, that gives that student a false sense of security, but two, what happens when she continues to develop and grow through that system? Teachers were once students. That guy was a student of some other con artist, and now he's passing down that knowledge to his students, and that student will eventually grow up, one of them at least, to become an instructor themselves, and then pass the nonsense on to someone else. And to be honest, I probably didn't need to do a full video about this guy. I probably could have made this video really short and just showed that first clip of the no-touch knockout, and that would be enough for everyone to convince this man is crazy. But sometimes in order to get your point across, you need to show the whole scope of a situation. This man has students that are paying him. He apparently is promoting people within his system, and those students can grow up and continue the cycle of nonsense. Time to give this man some Dillmans. You already know. 5 out of 5 Dillmans. The man is a Kyosho Jitsu practitioner. That's what George Dillman teaches, and I already showed you a laundry list of people who also believe that crap. He's reviving people with this nonsensical, non-medical way of waking people up from being unconscious. Another thing I find fascinating about Kyosho Jitsu practitioners such as this one is almost none of them are actually licensed acupuncturists. They just make the shit up. I truly do feel bad for people who are brainwashed into believing stuff like this because, of course, once they look for a martial arts instructor, they're assuming that the instructor knows what they're doing simply because they have a black belt around their waist. This brings us to the question of the day, brought to you by X-Martial. Be sure to answer the question of the day in the comment sections below, not only for me to know that you watched the entire video, but also to be entered for a chance to win a $100 gift voucher to be used at xmartial.com. How important is someone's lineage to you? Clearly, this man is somebody who is an understudy in Kyosho Jitsu. That lineage usually leads to George Dillman 9 times out of 10. Well, we know George Dillman is a fraud, and that doesn't necessarily mean that this guy is a fraud, but clearly he did turn out to be. He didn't have to be. So is lineage important? What if there's somebody who did study under George Dillman, is a black belt under George Dillman, that actually taught legitimate technique? Although I don't believe that is something that is really happening ever at all, but it is possible. There's a possibility that you could be linked to an instructor who did something nefarious, and you didn't know about it, but now you're permanently attached to them because you have a black belt underneath them. You have a black belt under, for instance, so-and-so, who may have committed a crime. Well, now you have to either start over in another art and completely disavow that person and say you're not a black belt under them, or eventually you do have to say that you're a black belt under them, but now you're stuck with a stigma of that person's name. So with that said, how important is lineage to you? As always, I'm looking forward to reading your comments in the comment sections below. Be sure to check out our website, McDojoLife.com, which went live last week. It has a registry on there. There's going to be events on there. There's going to be a ton of stuff on there. It is going to be the next big thing for McDojo Life, so be sure to check it out. If you see anything on there that you'd really like to add, just let me know, and we'll make sure that we can listen to those suggestions and add anything that we feel will benefit. Thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and memberships. Keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerates. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this tool said he could move shit with his mind. He call himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip mall near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to break boards with her thoughts, but the only thing she's breaking is my little heart. Things